Hi guys, welcome back. So in this session where we learn about what are the Salesforce developer interview question answer for the question asked it Accenture. So first question is difference in between master detail and lookup relationship. So here are the difference between the lookup and master detail relationship. Our lookup relationship links up to two objects and up to 25 such objects can be linked. Okay. uh, Parent fields are not mandatory here and they can be multiple layered step, and addition to there that there is no impact on security or deletion. Okay, in the coming back to master detail relationship. So master detail relationship has to be a parent child relationship where master denotes the parent and details denotes as a child. Okay, it can be linked up to two objects, and deleting a parent field automatically deletes a child field. Okay, a child in one relationship can't be the parent in any other relationship. So here the difference between the lookup and master detail relationship, it can allow up to 25 lookup relation to another object, and master detail it's allowed up to two objects. So it's a self lookup relationship can be allowed in lookup relationship, and no self lookup will be allowed in master data relationship. And in lookup relationship, no impact on security or deletion, and in master data relationship it deletes the child. So in lookup relationship parents is not mandatory, and in master data relationship parent is mandatory. So it's lookup relationship, it's a multi-layer, and master it's a not no layer, and child can't be a parent in master detail relationship. So coming to next question, what is a data loader? So data loader for complex import for any size more than 50,000 records. It supports all standard and custom objects. It doesn't support schedule export, and delete operation is available. It requires installation while importing duplicates cannot be ignored. So what is a data loader? It means here are some points of data loader. What can be done for data loader, what cannot be done for data loader. It cannot be support schedule report like this. Okay, data loader, it's a part of thing where you can import a data from into the Salesforce. It's an external tool. Okay, so note, import wizard is a web-based tool to process bulk records. With import without, we can process a maximum of 50,000 records. Okay, and in import without, we can't see few objects. Like if there is a master detail between two objects, then child object we can't see. And import wizard does not accept duplicate records. Operations of data loader like insert, update, upsert, delete, hard delete, export all. What is the batch size of the data loader? It can be allowed 2000 maximum, and minimum is 1, or default is 200 batch size. But for each chunks 200 batch of records can be imported. Okay, in Salesforce, data import wizard is loaded already. But what you need, if you want to load the data from to data loader, so you can download the tool for data loader, and you can connect to that data loader to the Salesforce, and you can import the data. Okay, tell me the difference in between profile and roles. So profile, it specifies what user will do in the org. Okay, and role, it specifies what user can see depends upon role hierarchy. It means profile is a kind of thing like basically what user can do. It can be insert, it can be update, it can be delete operation, it can be view all, it can be modify all. What user can do to that particular object field like this. Okay, and role, it can be in record level security, where user what can see the record, his record can be seen by own self, or other records can be seen by this is based on role. Okay, it's a no hierarchy in the profile, but role in the work in hierarchy fashion. Like hierarchy fashion, like suppose your CEO, then manager, then your employee. So CEO can see all the manager plus employee details, but in the manager, you manager can see the employee data, and employee can see their own records. Okay, like this of hierarchy will be done in Salesforce. So mandatory for user, and role is not mandatory. While creating a user in Salesforce, it is mandatory. Profile should be mandatory, but its role cannot be a mandatory. It can be done either further later. It controls object level, field level security, and it controls only record level security and role. Okay, it handles system permissions and role is not handle system permissions. Okay, like add and remove actions functionality, control page layout, like create, read, edit, and delete, as already discussed with you. So sharing rule can be written to share records with particular role and subordinates. We can already discuss with you. It depends on the role. Okay. So coming to next question is, what is a custom settings? So custom setting is a custom object in Salesforce that allows you to store custom data values that can be accessed across the organization. It provides a way to define and access application settings similar to configuration variables. Okay, what are sharing rules? So sharing rules is the automation rules that grant access to groups of users, exceptions to organization by default, irrelevant to for public write organization, level of access that can be granted, read only, read and write, like this. Okay, coming back to sharing rules that should be used when a user or group of user needs access to records not granted by either the role hierarchy or setup or the organization wide default settings. So sharing rules open up the access records where organization wide defaults restrict access. You can use sharing rules to grant wider access to data. You cannot restrict access below your organization wide default levels. Sharing rules apply to all new and existing records owned by the specified role and or group members. Sharing rule apply to both active and non-active users. When you change the access levels for a sharing rule, or existing records are automatically updated to reflect the new access levels. When you delete a sharing rule, the sharing access created by that rule is automatically removed. When you transfer records from one user to another, the sharing rules is re-evaluated to add or remove action to the transferred records are necessary. When you modify which users are in a group or role, the sharing rules are re-evaluated to add or remove access as necessary. Okay. So for contact opportunity and case sharing rules, if the role or group members do not have access to the account associated with the shared content opportunity or case in the rule, automatically gives them to the view the accounts as well. So managers in the role hierarchy are automatically granted the same access that users below them in the hierarchy have from a sharing rule. You can edit the access levels for any sharing rules. You cannot change the specified groups or role for that rule. Okay. Explain what is a junction object in Salesforce and provide an example of it. Okay. So junction objects are used to build many to many relationship. Okay. Which is meant to matter between objects. You can take a recruiting example like where a position for a job can be linked to many candidates. In the same manner, candidate can be linked to the different position. Okay, see where yeah, where a position for a job can be linked to many candidates. Okay, and in the same manner, candidate can also be linked to the different positions. So to connect this data model, you need a third party object. This object is referred as a junction objects. Okay, here job application is the junction objects. Suppose where a position for a job can be linked to many categories, like there are some position like CEO manager level and employee. Okay, so one candidate can be linked with CEO manager, as well as he can be either choose CEO, he can be either with seat manager, he can be either choose with employee. So in the same manner, candidate can be linked with different positions. So candidate can be also linked with different position. Candidate either choose this CEO position or in manager level or in employee level. He can either choose that. Okay. So to connect this data model from one many to many relationship, you need a third party object that is called as junction objects. Okay. What is the purpose of a profile view or modify all permissions? when you give grant view all and modify all for an object on a profile or a permission set, you grant any associated users access to all records of that organization regardless of the sharing rule and settings, security settings. Okay, in essence, the view while modify permissions ignore the sharing model, role hierarchy, and sharing rules in that the create, read, edit, and delete permissions respect. Furthermore, modify also gives a user to ability to mass transfer, mass update, and mass delete records to the specific object and approve such records even the user is not as a designated approver. It means that view all, it ignores all the sharing rules which you have created for that particular user, particular object, like this particular roles and subordinates. You can set like that. It ignores all the sharing rules and it can view all the data of that particular for all the particular users. Okay, if you enable the view all functionality, and if you enable the modify all functionality, what does it do? It gives the ability to mass transfer the records, mass transfer the update, mass transfer delete the records of the specific object, and even in such that it can approve such records even if it is not a designated approval. Okay, he can access that particular access of that particular approver. Okay, these tasks are typically reserved for administrator, but because view all, modify all let us selectively override the system responsibilities that are usually reserved for the administrator. Okay, so view all modify is typically reserved for the system admin. It's not for the particular. It's not for the user to enable this checkbox and he can use it. Basically, it's only used for the system administrator. Okay, so administrator can be delegated to other users in a highly controlled fashion. How many types of flows you have used? So there are five types of flows, that is screen flow, auto launched flow, trigger flow, and platform event trigger flow. And okay, wait a second. Yeah. Okay, screen flow, it guides the user through a business process, captures user input. In a screen flow, you can capture the data of that particular objects, and you can simply drag and drop and capture the input of the users. Okay, in the auto launch flow, do not have any trigger and they run in the background. Okay, auto launched flow, no trigger, launches when invoked by Apex process, REST API, and more. Okay, what are triggered floats? Trigger floats are auto launched by a trigger when you specify and then they run in the background. What is record trigger flow? Record trigger is for launches when a record is updated, created, and deleted. Scheduled trigger flow launches when it's at a specified time and frequency for each record in a batch. Okay. Platform event trigger flow launches when a platform message is received. So explain process automation. So process automation in Salesforce refers to the use of Salesforce built in automation tools and features to streamline or automate various sales and business processes. Salesforce is a leading customer relationship management CRM platform that provides a range of automation capabilities to help organizations to improve sales efficiency, reduce manual tasks, and enhance customer engagement. Here are some aspects of process automation of in Salesforce are, that is workflows, that is process builder, that is flows, that is approval process. Okay, so workflow is allow you to automate standard internal processes and processes to save time across your org. You can set up rules that trigger based on certain criteria when a record is created or edited. When the created are met, when the criteria are met, specified actions and are executed automatically. Actions can include sending email alert, creating a task, updating fields, and many more. Okay, or like this, many more. It's mainly its large option is for the outbound messages. Okay, for example, you can use workflow to automatically assign leads to the right sales representative based on the certain criteria. Okay. What is process builder? So process builder is a visual tool that lets you create more complex processes compared to workflows. It allows you to define processes with multiple steps and conditions. You can automate tasks, update records, and interact with other systems or applications using process builder. For example, you can create a process that automatically sends an email to the customer when a support case is marked as resolved. It can be automatically send an email to the process builder. Okay, simply for flow, so flow is allow you to build custom automation process that can involve multiple records and objects. Flows are more versatile, can be used for creating guided user experiences, updating records, and executing complex business logic. For instance, you can use Flow to automate the process of onboarding new customers, which may involve creating accounts, contacts, opportunities, as well as sending welcome emails. Approval process is Salesforce provides a robust approval process automation features. You can define approval process by various record types such as deal or expense reports. When a record meets specific criteria, it enters an approval queue and designated users or roles can approve or reject it. Okay, approval processes help in maintaining control and compliance within your organization. So, validation rules allow you to enforce data quality by standard specific criteria that must be met before records are saved. Okay, suppose you can create a validation to ensure that opportunities have a minimum required amount or that phone number are in a valid format. It can be before the data record is saved, it gives the error that please fill that amount of the opportunity or phone numbers. It's not a valid format. Okay. Schedule actions. Salesforce allow you to schedule action to occur at a specific time or on a recurring basis. This is useful for automating tasks like sending follow-up emails, renewing contracts, or generating reports. Lightning flows and lightning process builder. Lightning flows Lightning offers more advanced automation capabilities, including Lightning Focus and Lightning Process Builder, which provides a more modern and user-friendly interface for building automation processes. Integration. Salesforce can integrate with other applications and systems to automate data synchronization and information sharing. This can include integration with marketing automation tools, account system, and more. By utilizing these process automation features in Salesforce, organizations can streamline their sales and business process, reduce manual data entry, and also improve the data accuracy, enhance our customer interactions, and ultimately drive greater efficiency and productivity within their sales team and across the entire organization. How many Salesforce releases are there per year? There are three times Salesforce releases per year. The first is winter, spring, and summer. So Salesforce platform is constantly evolving with regular releases three times a year. That is winter, spring, and summer. That include many new features. As an admin, have a release strategy can help you and your staff stay on top of changes so you can take full advantage of new functionality that are releases by Salesforce. So, what are the questions asked for the development part in Accenture is yeah, difference between SOQL and SOSL. So SOQL stands for a Salesforce Object Query Language, and SOSL it stands for Salesforce Object Search Language. Using SOQL, we can search only one object and related object at a time, and using SOSL, we can search on many objects at a time. Okay, while you are querying the SOQL query, so you can search at a particular object or the particular related object, but in SOSL you can search many objects at a time. We can query on all fields of any data type in SOQL. Okay, but in SOSL, we can query only on fields whose data type is text, phone, as well as email. Okay, in SOQL, we can use in classes and triggers, and in SOSL, we can use its classes, but we cannot use in triggers SOSL. Okay, we can perform DML operations in SOQL. We cannot perform DML operations on search result. Okay, so here are some questions like write a SOQL query to fetch account and associated contacts. So here's the explanation is select ID name from account where ID in select account ID from opportunity where account ID not equal to null and ID in select account ID from contact where account ID not equal. Here you can fetch account relate associated with that contacts as well as opportunity. Okay. What is a patch apex? Patch apex is used to process large sets of data asynchronously in smaller batches to avoid governor limits. Patch apex is used when you need to process large datasets over 50,000 records and need to bypass the synchronous execution time limits. That's why we use patch apex. Yeah, write a batch code to update account rating as hot. Yeah, here is the code for the account rating, update account rating as hot. Like global class update ratings implement database.batchable as objects. Here global database you can query the record database.query select ID name rating from account where rating not equal to null. Okay, where rating equal to null. Okay, yeah, global void execute. Here the start query, here the execute query, here is the finish method. Okay, execute query database dot batchable context list of account, which account for that list of account to update, like for account is selecting hot, then it's update that, and if it's empty then update account that, and is the finish method. Okay, to execute this anonymous in this anonymous area, here id batch job id is equal to database dot update ratings new run this batch. Okay, 200, it's a batch size for 200 records will be auto updated at that when you execute this query in anonymous window. Okay, what is QL Apex in Salesforce? QL Apex is used to perform asynchronous process of complex or long-running operations by adding data to the Apex job queue. Okay, advantages of QL Apex over Batch Apex. QL Apex has a more flexible execution flow and doesn't have limitations on the number of records and can be changed for complex processes. Difference between DML and database statement. So DML statement doesn't support partial manipulation of records in a list. Okay, and database methods allow partial manipulation of records in a list. DML does not return the list of success or failure of records. Database method returns the returns of the list of success or failure of records. Okay. What is asynchronous apex? Asynchronous apex is used to run process in a different thread. An asynchronous process is a process that execute a task in the background without the user having to wait for the task to finish. It's help to us to solve governor limits in Salesforce. Okay, in technology terminology, asynchronous operations means that the process operating independently on of other processes. Here, synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous is a process A, it goes for process B, and when process A will be converted, it goes for process B, process B converted. It's dependent on process A, but when process A will be converted, then process will be take place, and it asynchronously it's continue working. Process A will be continue. Sorry. Yeah, process A will be working parallelly, and process B also working parallelly. It doesn't wait for that process A to be completed. After that, process will be executed. No, it is asynchronously it executed parallelly, and asynchronous it will execute one by after one another after. Okay, what are the key differences between triggers and Apex classes in Salesforce? An Apex classes is a template or blueprint from which Apex objects are created. Classes consist of other classes, user-defined methods, variable, exception types, and static initialization code. A trigger is Apex code that execute before or after specific data manipulation DML events occur, such as before object record are inserted into the database. Okay, or after records have been deleted. A trigger is associated with the standard or custom object and can be called methods of Apex classes. Explain the concept of buffification in Apex, why it's crucial for efficient code execution. So, buffification in Apex is a fundamental programming concept within the Salesforce platform, especially in the context of writing efficient and scalable code for Salesforce application. It refers to the practice of designing and writing code in a way that allows it to efficiently handle large volume of data or records in a single operation. That's why qualification is important when you handle the large amount of data or volume, okay, in a single operation. Qualification is crucial for efficient code execution in Salesforce for several reasons. That is, it is important because it minimizing the governor limits, it improve performance, it reduces the API uses. That's why we use qualification in our code, and it is very important for that. And so it enhances scalability. That is, here are some common scenarios where qualification is crucial. That is, trigger handler, querying data, DML operations, batch processing. Okay, so trigger handlers, when writing Apex triggers, it's essential to qualify your trigger handlers to handle multiple records at once. Okay, this ensures that the trigger can handle both single record update and bulk updates, such as data imports update via the Salesforce data loader. Querying your data. While querying data from Salesforce object using SOQL, Salesforce object query language queries that can efficiently retrieve multiple records in a single query. Avoid using queries inside loop, as this can lead to performance issues. DML operations. When performing data manipulation language, DML operations like inserting, updating, or deleting records use collections, example list, or sets to process multiple records at once. Minimize the number of DML statement within your loop. Okay, what is batch processing? So batch processing, Salesforce provide batch processing a framework that allows you to process large sets of data in a controlled and efficient manner. Using batch Apexop is a key strategy for bulkifying operations that involve complex logic or data transformations. Okay, in summary, bulkification in Apex is a crucial practice for designing efficient and scalable code in Salesforce. It helps us you to stay within governor limits, improve performance, reduces API uses, and ensure that your code can handle large volume of data efficiently. By performing bulkification best practices, you can build robust and high performing Salesforce applications. That's why we use bulkification in our code. Difference in between Lightning Web Components and Aura components. Aura-based Lightning components are built using both HTML and JavaScript, but in LWC is built directly on the web stack. A developer who work on LWC, it's not using the coding skills. Okay, a particular framework, but in other framework like React or Angular, which is based on our web stack. Best practices for LWC design patterns. Here is the best practices for LWC design patterns is HTML file. Okay, like there are two ways to call Apex classes in Lightning Web Component, that imperative and wire. So are you using a wire property or a wire functions? Wire process imperatively. Okay, as per Lightning Component, best practices use at the red wire over imperative method invocation as a require fits nicely in the overall Lightning Web Components reactive architecture. Salesforce is building some more performance enhancement features that are only available with @wire. But there are few use cases that require you to imperative apex, that is wire properties versus wire functions. So Lightning Data Service. As per AWS best practice, use Lightning Data Service functions to create record, delete a record over invoking Apex method. Yes, there are some use cases where you need to multiple records which we can use Apex method. Lightning Data Service is built on the top of user interface API. API is a public sector Salesforce API that uses Sales for user to build Lightning experience. Like its name suggests, UI API is designed to make it easy to build Salesforce UI. UI API give you data and metadata in a single response, that is giving preference to user form type in below order like Lightning record from Lightning record view form at the rate wire get record. Events in AWS. There are typically three approaches for communication between the components using events, like parent to child, child to parent. Two components which doesn't have a direct relationship, which can you called as pub shop model or public subscriber model in Lightning Web Components. Streaming API platform event change data capture. Okay, the Lightning API module provides access to methods for subscribing to the streaming channel and listening to event messages. All streaming channels are supported, including channels for platform events, push topic events, generic events, change data capture events. This component required API version 44 or later. The Lightning API module can be used to share committee connection. How to debug your LWC? You can use Chrome Pretty.js settings, see unminified JavaScript, and debug proxy values for data. Okay, use storeable actions, that is it will reduce to the call to the server. So thank you guys. Here are the Salesforce developer questions and answer which were asked in Accenture. I hope you like this video. Please hit like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.